All right, let's jump right in. I want to play a little game. I'm going to lay out the stories of three companies, and as I do, I want you to try and guess who I'm talking about. Sound good?
So our first mystery company, picture this, a discount retailer. They pop up in the 50s, bringing super low prices to all these small towns. And get this, they had really sophisticated IT for their time. We're talking cutting-edge stuff. Between 78 and 85, if you put just $1 into this company, it would have turned into $6,000. Insane, right? You probably have a name popping into your head. Just hold that thought.
Okay, on to company number 2, an airline. They started up in the 70s, a point-to-point airline really focused on the U.S. Southwest. They got famous for two things: crazy fast gate turnarounds, like really fast, and super friendly flight attendants. I bet you're feeling pretty confident about this one.
And for our last one, an online retailer. Their goal? Pretty simple. Be the biggest store on the planet. They had low prices, free shipping, the whole shebang. And they were one of the fastest companies in history to hit $50 million in revenue. Yeah, this one seems like a total gimme, doesn't it?
All right, so you've got your three guesses locked in. What do these companies all have in common? Well, on the surface, they're all amazing success stories, right? Total game changers, pioneers.
Okay, ready for the big reveal? I'm guessing you thought Walmart, Southwest, and of course, Amazon. But the real companies I was talking about? Ames Department Stores, PSA Airlines, and Buy.com. Did anyone get those? Yeah, I didn't think so.
And this is where it gets crazy. Here's the gut punch. Every one of those companies, Ames, PSA, and Buy.com, they had the perfect strategy at the perfect time. We know it was perfect because Walmart, Southwest, and Amazon used basically the exact same playbook to become the giants they are today. And yet, all three of our mystery companies went bankrupt.
So what happened? How could they fail? Well, they all made the exact same mistake. It's a fatal flaw called premature scaling. You know, it's that temptation to just go big, right now. Expand to new cities, new customers, go after everyone, everywhere, all at once. And in doing that, they spread themselves so thin that they completely lost what made them great to begin with.
Okay, so if that's the poison, what's the cure? Well, this whole analysis comes from Graham Weaver, and he lays out this really powerful three-part framework to avoid that fate and actually achieve world-class growth. Let's dig in.
It all kicks off with principle number 1, finding your ideal customer. And honestly, this all comes down to the power of focus, like intense focus.
Let's go back to Ames Department Stores for a second. They actually had a head start on Walmart. But they try to be everything to everyone. Big towns, small towns, cities, rural areas, they just spread out. And they ended up being kind of average everywhere. Walmart? They did the complete opposite. Sam Walton opened his first 24 stores in just one tiny corner of the world, Northwest Arkansas. That's it. They got to know that one type of customer so well that they built this fortress. It got to the point where Walmart could sell stuff for less than Ames could even buy it for. Now that is the power of focus.
You know, it reminds me of that amazing Bruce Lee quote. It's not about practicing 10,000 different kicks, it's about practicing one kick 10,000 times. It's about mastering your thing, your core market, until you are simply unbeatable.
So this leads to a really important question. For you, for your business, for your project. What is your Northwest Arkansas? Where's that one specific place, that one type of customer that you can absolutely own before you even dream of expanding?
Okay, so once you have that intense focus, it flows right into principle number 2, creating an irresistible offer. See, once you know exactly who you're serving, your job is to create something for them that's not just good or even great. It has to be magical. And for that, you need a little imagination.
The perfect example is Airbnb. Back when they were close to failing, the CEO, Brian Chesky, did this little thought experiment. He said, okay, a 5-star experience, that's just expected. The key is under the mat, the place is clean, big deal. But what would a 7-star experience look like? Maybe there's a welcome gift. Okay, what about 9 stars? You show up and they've already made you dinner reservations at the hottest restaurant in town. And then he just went for it. What's an 11-star experience? You land at the airport and there's a parade in your honor, with elephants. Now look, the point wasn't about the elephants. The point was to completely break out of that boring 5-star box and just imagine what a truly, ridiculously amazing experience could be.
And that really gets to the heart of it. Creating something truly special isn't about just giving customers what they ask for. I mean, nobody's going to put parade with elephants on a feedback form, right?
It's about having your own standards for yourself be so ridiculously high that they blow past anything anyone else could ever demand of you.
So that's the challenge for you. Just for a minute, forget about budgets, forget about what's practical. What would a mind-blowing, over-the-top 11-star experience look like for your customer?
All right, you've found your customer. You've designed an unbelievable offer. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, principle number 3, Operation Crush. And this one is so important because it's where we learn that the best product doesn't always win. The best execution does.
This brings us to one of the all-time great underdog stories in the business world. The year is 1975. The matchup? Intel versus Motorola. Intel? They were basically a nobody. Motorola? They were the undisputed king of computer chips. Motorola's chip was twice as powerful as Intel's, and they had 10 times the revenue. I mean, on paper, this was a total mismatch. Intel had absolutely no shot.
So what did Intel do? They were smart. They knew they couldn't win a tech-for-tech battle, so they decided to win on pure hustle, on sales and marketing. They launched something called Operation Crush. It was an all-out, company-wide assault. Everybody, from the CEO down to the engineers, became a salesperson. And in just 6 months, they got 2,500 design wins, basically locking in all these customers for their chip before Motorola's better chip was even available. It completely changed the game, overnight.
And this story just absolutely demolishes one of the biggest myths out there. You know that famous line from Field of Dreams, "If you build it, they will come"? When it comes to business, that is just about the worst advice you could ever take. It's not true. Great products are sold. They are not just bought. Intel proved it. A good enough product with a world-class sales machine will crush a superior product with no sales machine every single time.
So, let's pull all of this together. These 3 principles, they're not just a checklist of tactics. They're really a totally different way of thinking, a mindset for what it takes to achieve something amazing. So here it is, the path to world-class growth laid out for you. Step 1, find your Northwest Arkansas, that one small pond where you can be the biggest fish. Step 2, design your 11-star offer, something so good it's unforgettable. And step 3, launch your own Operation Crush and just out-hustle and out-execute everybody.
You know, the crazy thing is, becoming the best in the world doesn't necessarily take more energy than being just okay. It just takes a mindset shift. It's a choice to pour all that same energy into the few things that actually matter.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. We only get one shot at this thing, right? To quote Graham Weaver one last time, let's all spend this one wild and precious life of ours trying to be the best in the world. And look, that's not just about business. It's about the kind of person you decide to be. And that, right there, is an ambition worth going all in for.